This is 10,000 Hours of Indie, and more specifically the 80 Bands Around the World project. I've set myself the task of seeing 80 independent bands from around the world. There's no time limit, but I can only see one band or artist from each country, and I can't put money into the pocket of Ticketmaster. Simple, right? Well, I'm also based in Finland, which makes it tougher, so I'll need help from any touring bands that come through or event organisers that can help get me to my total of 80. Give me a follow on socials and get in touch if you can help. Links are in the show description. So I visited ODDfest, a festival in Helsinki which caters for a very mixed crowd. They host everything from industry discussions, not just music based but business etc., to films, music, performance art and gaming. This is a truly multidisciplinary event, and as such the audience for a day can cover just about any demographic. There are several event spaces too, from an outdoor stage, actually the same one I visited a few weeks ago for the World Village Fair, to the legendary live music venue Tavastia and its smaller counterpart Semi-Final. In its second year, the festival has spread to a much wider area, including much more to see and do. Obviously, I'm focusing on the music for this episode, and let's see how many more bands I can tick off for the 80 Bands Around the World project. There were a lot of bands at this event. As I mentioned before, Tavastia was used this year, and for those of you who aren't based in Finland, this is one of the most famous live spaces in the city, so I was excited to explore the bands playing in proper music venues. I'll run through the bands I saw that don't fit the bill for the 80 Bands project first. So I saw 3 Finnish acts during the festival, and for those who have missed previous episodes, I'm not including a Finnish act in this project as I feel it's a little bit too easy. Maybe I'll regret that later. My Finnish Friday began with the trio Virta, a band I've seen a couple of times before. They blend ambient electronica, Nordic jazz traditions, post-rock and psychedelia. Yeah, I stole that from Wikipedia as I didn't know how to describe their genre. This was in a cinema with a projector playing specially made videos to back up the tracks, and it was probably my favourite live act of the festival, an intense and passionate performance from one of Finland's best crossover acts. Also on Friday night, and the closing act in semi-final, was electronic dance trio Electric Elisa. Mostly singing in Finnish, Elisa Luukkainen strutted the stage with intensity and certainly proved to be a formidable front for a band. This was gritty, and I'm glad I checked them out. And on Saturday, another closing act and another Finnish band, Us. I saw them at last year's Tallinn Music Week, and they don't disappoint live. Running through a set of songs that seem familiar but are in fact all original, this band should be on everyone's bucket list. Next Friday, they released their second album, and I did a full interview with them which will come out on the same day, so don't forget to check that out. Okay, and so on to the bands I saw that will be covered for the 80 Bands Around the World project. First up on Friday, to a venue I hadn't seen live music in before, Vanha Yliopistalo, well known for hosting heavier shows and a pretty old venue, so the expectation of great sound was high. I had actually arrived to see the band before, but alas, their show was moved to the Saturday and I never actually managed to see them. Valerie June is the artist I went to see here, a US musician playing Americana solo. Not my favourite genre, but that's the point of the project, getting out of my comfort zone, and it certainly was. She entered a stage with a single chair in the centre, surrounded by guitars, a banjo and more, and as soon as she sat down she launched into her show, playing her songs, telling stories about them and her life, and generally being very upbeat and enthusiastic considering the small audience she had gathered. Think somewhere along the lines of a female version of C6 Steve, but more southern. Honestly, this was not my thing musically. I loved her personality but struggled with the country sound, as I usually do. However, I've ticked off the US. Not sure how it took so long, to be honest. Next up on Friday, I went to Tavastia, the legendary venue I mentioned before. I've been here at least 100 times for bands from all over the world. Sadly though, those don't count towards this project, or I would have almost completed the project just with shows seen there. I'm here to see Nazva, a Ukrainian 5-piece comprising of drums, tenor sax, flute, violin and piano, and of course vocals. I have to admit I didn't manage to see their whole set as there were time clashes, but I managed about 30 minutes. A weird intro, as half the band were already on the stage and the rest joined them after a speech on equality. They took to the stage with so much energy I couldn't see how they would keep it up, but at least the singer-piano player did while I was there. They play upbeat folk rock, and alongside filling the stage with energy, the singer had the audience joining in with chants and sing-alongs as well. I enjoyed this, although the gimmick did wear thin when by song 4 they had shown themselves to be a bit of a one-trick pony. Worth seeing once? Probably not again, but that ticks off the Ukraine. Into the smaller neighbouring venue semi-final to start my Saturday. This is a venue that holds about 170 people when full. Sadly this evening, and for all the artists I saw during the festival, it is sparsely populated. Heath is an Italian artist playing electro-folk, but when I say playing, the live show seemed to encompass a lot more tech than actual playing. This was certainly a sit-down experience rather than an intense spectacle, but it was a chilled vibe and a nice experience. Banjo Co-Pilot is next, also in semi-final, and actually it was before Heath, but I had to change the order because I'd already sorted the numbers out, and I'm a spreadsheet obsessive, and it just wouldn't do to change things like that. Banjo Co-Pilot certainly put on an interesting show. A solo artist who performed in a blue jumpsuit with a keypad on each side of his chest, which controlled the large visual screen behind him and the music. His larger-than-life performance was accompanied by himself on the screen, playing guitar sitting on a high-rise block. There was also a complete subtitle accompaniment on the screen. This was certainly original music, with simplicity while also being complex and making the audience think. I can't really define a genre, so maybe go and have a listen as his album came out on the same day as the performance. I actually really enjoyed this. It was something completely different and summed up the odd in ODDfest. I spoke to Banjo Co-Pilot a couple of days before his show. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself, what you do musically, and your genre in under a minute?
I don't think I have a genre. I started as a classical musician, doing very weird stuff, like experimental orchestral kind of stuff. I got really bored with the institutions, and I started to do whatever I wanted, actually precisely what I wanted. And I have been finding only green lights so far, Doors opened when I started to do precisely what I wanted to do.
Artist name?
Banjo Co-Pilot.
Why?
It's actually my name, Pablo Contijo, but it's re-scrambled. Yeah, okay. The name sucks, actually. It's like, doesn't roll out of the tongue. Yeah, I don't. It's not catchy. It's difficult to remember. It doesn't roll out of the tongue. I was expecting this to be a thing, actually.
So what are your influences musically?
Well, I mostly listen to Karl-Heinz Stockhausen. I know what I do is very, very far apart from his work, but he's the most important artist in my life, I would say. I mostly listen to classical music. It's very rare for me to listen to songs that have like a guitar and somebody singing. But I am unsure about my influences. I never thought about it. Okay. I don't even know what's in there. Everything. I put everything I know is in there. You're going to hear samba. You're going to hear microtonal stuff. You're going to hear a lot of things. I thought.
So you're in Helsinki for the ODDfest, which you haven't performed yet. This is your first trip to Helsinki as well?
Yes.
How are you finding Helsinki?
I had this preconception of Finland that would be an extremely boring country with extremely boring people. And I was extremely wrong. Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. No, it's such a cool place. I don't even want to tell people, because I think we should keep it cool, don't tell everybody. I would hate Finland to be hyped up. My first day here, I went to Sompa Sauna. It was amazing. It's a community thing. Everything is kept. And I am amazed by ethics and how people behave and how laws do not need to be enforced. And although they are functioning very well, it's amazing. Well, I came from Brazil, so it's chaotic. You need to enforce the laws very strictly. And we Brazilians, we hate rules. We don't follow rules. Rules and laws are like a mild suggestion for us.
So how are you feeling about playing? Because this is actually your first show as this project.
I prepared so obsessively and for such a long time. I slept in a dance studio for over a month. It burns all of the excitement, unfortunately. Yeah, I would love to be excited.
But now you just want to get it done.
I just want to like get it done and go to São Paulo. Yeah,
that's where you're going to spend the rest of your time. In
probably.
Finland.
Yes.
Okay. If you could recommend one track, well, you haven't got any tracks out, but when you've got an album launch coming.
I do have like some tracks that I recorded when I was losing my shit during the pandemic, and this wasn't supposed to be a thing. I would say that you should listen to the podcast. There's a track called The Podcast. It's a very interesting one. I used bits of an orchestral recording that weren't used in the final recording. And it was an improvisation, but I started to talk, and this is where the universe of my character was created. No, it was like an improvisation. I smoked a lot of weed that day. I'm not a weed guy, but the day I was. And I started to create stuff like doctor, and I gave the doctor a name, and I created a whole universe in that song. So this is where it all started, I think, like the soul of the thing, the podcast.
You're a classical musician by background.
Yeah.
But what is the most rock and roll thing you've ever done?
Although I seem like a very serious person, maybe, I lived quite a rock star life, and like secretly. I would say, let me try to elect something that is like law-abiding. I would say the most rock and roll thing anyone can do is to drink ayahuasca.
What is that?
It's like indigenous brew.
It's hallucinogenic.
Yes. It has massive doses of DMT and is inescapable for 8 hours. You're gonna be there. It's impossible. It's like you cannot get out. Like once you're in, you're not gonna get out.
So what did you do when you drunk it?
Oh my God! In 15 minutes, it's going to be very difficult to describe.
Can you recommend another band or artist from your native country that we should check out?
Yes, I think you should check out Heitor Villa-Lobos.
Okay.
He's our Sibelius.
Okay.
He was the very ambitious, megalomaniac Brazilian composer who took the toll of trying to create a national identity. As I told you, this is a very hard thing to do because, like, we look at ourselves and like, who the fuck are we? Like, we have the largest community of Japanese living outside of Japan. A lot of us are Italian, from the Italian descent. We have place in Brazil, people speak German. So it's very difficult to figure out what the fuck is Brazilian art, you know? And he tried it really hard, and I think he kind of managed to do it.
And finally, what is the best way for people to find out more about your music?
I am very bad at the fucking social media thing, man. I just did my first post. I've been recording for like 1.5 years, and I'm starting to release stuff now. I have an Instagram, Benji Copilot. I have only one post.
I think I was your 17th follower.
Yeah. I have like, not even my friends are following me. It's so bad of social media. If you're listening to this and you're a social media guy, please call me, you know, let's work together. But you can DM me on Instagram. I'm going to answer.
So, 4 more countries ticked off the list. Country number 24 is the US, represented by Valerie June. 25 is the Ukraine and Nazva. 26 is Italy, represented by Heath. And 27 is Brazil and Banjo Co-Pilot. The series will continue in a fortnight when I visit Helsinki's legendary Tuska Festival. Tuska means pain in Finnish, so as you can imagine, it's a metal festival. I've managed to avoid this festival for 20 years, although I have been meant to go a couple of times. Let's see what happens.